All right. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay? There's a pretty aggressive lag on my broadcast, so I'll wait for a second to get a response here. Yeah, definitely let me know in the chat if you can hear me all right. Perfect, perfect. All right, I'm starting to see all the stuff go up. So, thank you everyone for joining me. I am so excited to have everyone here. As you can see, I have my 66 days of data shirt on, which, as you know, is available. I guess somewhere on my YouTube page. I'll be sending a couple of those out as well for people who've completed the challenges. And if you see me at any events this year in person, or in this upcoming year, I'll have a couple on me for people who have finished the challenge as well. So I think that's a kind of kind of fun thing that if anyone sees me in person from the initiative, I'd love to be able to share that experience and potentially some new apparel with you all. Uh, as you know, this is uh, the third round of this initiative. This initiative started, I guess it was last year, and it's grown an unbelievable amount, well beyond my greatest expectations. So the 66 days of data was just something that I wanted to do personally because I felt like I was getting a little stale in my data science process and my progress. I was getting a little bit, how do I put it? I felt like I wasn't learning new things as much. I was stuck in a rut with work because I was just doing very similar analysis all the time. And I wanted a way to push myself into creating better habits around just data in general and creating some consistency there. So I'm really happy that other people could over time join in with me in this and share a lot of the benefits that I had. So as I was looking at this, we have over 10,000 people now in the Discord server, thousands of people active on Discord, Twitter, LinkedIn, GitHub every single day, posting about this challenge, which I think is so incredible. I mean, this is a legitimate movement now that people are learning and engaging with together. And I assume almost everyone here is uh, is familiar with what the initiative is, but I might as well just highlight what the benefits are one more time, just to refresh everyone else's memory and have some uh, y- just to just remind everyone like why we're doing this and what some of the benefits are. So uh, the initiative is based on creating great data science habits, right? And habits are, in my mind, the bedrock for success in anything that we do. It's more important to create a habit of learning data science every day than it is to do pretty much anything else in data science. Rather than learning a specific technique or whatever it might be, techniques change, technologies change as well, but the habits you create can be with you for your entire career. And so I would like to say that, you know, by creating these habits, you're setting yourself up for success in this domain for in perpetuity rather than just learning something and it being a good fit or a good lesson for right now. I should also say Josh and Jack are coming on a little bit later. Josh is going to be in at 11:15. Jack is going to be on at 11:30, and then I have a representative from HP coming in at 11:45 to announce the winners of the two laptops. So just I probably should have started with the agenda, but I just got too excited, started talking about the 66 days of data. Pretty typical of myself. Um, so a couple of things that I just wanted to say about the initiative. There are three reasons why I think it creates so much value. So the first is you're creating these beautiful habits The second is by posting every day, you're creating accountability within the community, and you're also creating a bit of a portfolio. People can see how far you've come. The last thing that you generate is this track record. So you can go back and see how far you've come over the course of 66 days. And you can actually see the improvement you've made. A lot of the time we just we work and then we don't think we're moving anywhere when in fact we have gone a long way. We just haven't documented that process. So to me, that's a really incredible thing that we're able to show ourselves, which we don't always do. I think my friend Tina Huang, she talked about tracking your progress a lot from this book, The Four Disciplines of Execution. Pretty sure I recommended that book to her, but it's a great book, and there's a proven method for success and growth using tracking of yourself. I'm just catching up on the comments real quick. A lot about how glowing I am today. Guys, it's 5 in the morning where I am. If anything, it's the glow is from me not getting enough sleep. um, Let me check in on our guests and see how they're doing. All right, so we have all of our guests are already in the queue. I might bring them on just a little bit early. Um, One other thing before we get started with our guests is that there is a pretty impressive, pretty exciting opportunity that I wanted to talk about. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in my video this week as well, but I'm very excited to let you all know that there is something free that every single person is going to get. Unfortunately, it's not just well, actually, probably fortunately, it's not just for the 66 Days of Data community. But as you know, 365 Data Science has been a huge partner to the 66 Days of Data community. I think I've given away over 50 uh, credits for at least for a month and possibly a year as well. And starting October 18th, they are opening their whole platform up for a full month for free for everyone to use. You don't have to put any credit cards in, anything like that. Uh, they're really excited about some of the overhaul that they did to their platform, and they wanted to share that with everyone. They did something similar last year, and over 100,000 people came in and started learning. People were on the platform learning educational material for millions of minutes each day, which I think is pretty incredible. So I'm really happy to share that with everyone. I'll have more information on that in my video coming out next Monday. So super excited that we can continue the learning. And that's also something that I've been really, really excited about from this initiative as well, is that we've been able to give away a tremendous amount of free learning resources, whether that's Udemy credits, whether that's 365 data science, 3 month access, whether that's NVIDIA Deep Learning Institute credits, or I think there were some other types of courses. I think we also at least had a discount on some interview prep materials. So I'm just really grateful for everyone from the corporation side or the business side who's been able to give all of these free resources to the community. And this isn't something that I see stopping anytime soon. I'm really excited about the future rounds to see, and obviously Z by HP, they're giving away the biggest prize here. And again, I'm just really, really excited for what's to come. I'm, I'm so grateful to be able to give away a lot of this free stuff to continue the learning of data science. It's something I'm obviously pretty passionate about at this point, and I just want to keep that rolling with round 4, round 5, and round 6, and the approximate ones. Speaking of round 4, I will be starting my round 4 again in January. One of our guests, Jack, has actually started his round 4 already, so I'm super super excited to see how that goes for him. And I needed just a little break from the posting to be able to do my round four and set everything up. Um, I know that there's going to be quite a few uh, more tracks on the 66 Days of Data website, which I'm still trying to figure out how to get up. I've had a little bit of a challenge with with the website domain recently, but that will be coming. A lot of other incredible things coming very soon. So before we move on to Josh, I feel like it makes sense for me to introduce him, even though I am sure everyone already knows who he is. Josh is a friend of mine. He's been on my podcast, uh, and I am constantly in awe of the quality of content that he produces. And I'm really just unbelievably grateful that he's come on and been willing to, one, join this initiative, and two, be willing to come on the live stream and chat with me and share his experience, because having someone as influential as him in the community to be able to spread this message and to be able to engage with this, to me is, it's beyond what I thought was possible for an initiative like this to start with. And I can see him grinning in the lobby of the stream. But again, I don't think I can convey to him how grateful I am on that front. Again, for those who don't know, Josh is the person behind the YouTube channel StatQuest. And since 2016, Josh has used his innovative and unique visual style to clearly explain statistics, data science, and machine learning concepts and algorithms to curious people all over the world. Rather than dumb down the material, Josh brings people up with simple examples worked through step by step, using pictures to make sure every main idea is easy to understand and remember. By breaking down even the most complicated algorithms into bite-sized pieces, StatQuest has helped people all over the world win data science competitions, pass exams, graduate from school, and get jobs and promotions. Josh is called the patron saint of Silicon Valley because people binge watch StatQuest videos before job interviews, the Bill Nye of statistics by making the topic fun and exciting, and the Bob Ross of data by cutting through the hype and helping people relax with silly songs. I don't think any of his songs are silly. I think that they're extremely useful and fun. I I hate to say it, occasionally I'll be humming StatQuest bars. Uh, and I know because of him, I've also integrated BAM into my vocabulary. Uh, I know we also share a mutual love of dinosaurs, as you can see by my light back there. And again, I'm just excited to have him on the show. Josh, if you're listening, I'm about to add you to the stream. Hope you're ready. Hope you're ready for this.
Hello. Hi, I'm Josh Starmer.
The legend. I have to turn my volume up so I can hear you.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, I can hear you now. Josh, welcome. Thank you so much again for joining me today. I hope you're not beat red after the intro that I gave you.
No, it's great. It made me think that I need to do a live stream where we do a name that stat quest. And I'll do like the first couple of notes of the silly song at the beginning, and people are like, "Oh yeah, that's gradient descent," or linear discriminant analysis or whatever. They just by the first couple, like I could play like, and they're like, "Oh, I know that one." So I'll do. I
Oh,
want to
that'd
do
be
a
so fun.
I want to do a name that stat quest show.
I love that idea. Well, we gotta get a StatQuest playlist on Spotify too, so I
Oh
can
yeah, totally.
jam out in the car and learn. I mean,
Yeah,
I think that's one of the fun things is that, um, you know, with technology and with YouTube or Spotify, we can learn wherever we are. If
yeah,
you're on the bus, I can watch a StatQuest video and pick something up, and on my way to class, cram before the lesson, and
yeah.
really, uh, you know, learn it and pick it up in such an easy and accessible way. And thank you again for. We don't always thank the other content creators in our life, but thank you for creating all this stuff. I like
Oh,
like I've learned so much from it. I know it helped me, and it also definitely helped Tina through grad school.
Oh,
So,
wow. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for creating the 66 days of data, because that was, I swear, it's one of the greatest things I've done in recent memory, in terms of learning new things. And I'll be honest, one of the reasons why I do StatQuest is learning is fun. It challenges me to learn things, but the 66 days of data was something else. It was like a extra special thing, because that's really, I was just like, for me, it was like, for me, it was an excuse to just concentrate 66 days of learning as much as. I've got a cat in the room.
no, it's okay.
She's
Bring him
going
into the frame.
bonkers. I don't know
Bring
why
her
though.
into the frame. A 66 days of data mascot.
She's being a cat by like just being just out of reach.
Typical.
But anyways, dream go. Okay, there it's back. So for me, it was just sort of. Hold on.
There she is.
Say hello to everybody, Poe. Poe says hello. For me, what made it so special was, uh, you know, what I do for my channel is I go pretty deep in a topic, and it can take a lot of time. Uh, but data science moves and moves, and it moves fast. And there's always new stuff coming up. And people in the comments are like, when are you going to do a stat quest on this? What about this? And I'm like, I'll be honest, half the time I'm like, I don't even know what that is. I've never even heard that term. It's some new, latest, greatest thing, which is cool. I love that the field is sort of like constantly getting deeper and more exciting. Oh, but it also makes me feel like I'm always falling behind. Like, help, data science, wait up. And 66 days of data was my way of catching up. I spent like 2 or 3 days per topic, and I just plowed through. I'd made a list of things that people watching my videos had asked about, and I just plowed through as many topics as I could, just sort of getting the main ideas of each topic. And just to have that opportunity and feel like I'm kind of back in a saddle, and I'm not like, 100 miles behind the whole pack, was super exciting. And it was the other thing I thought was super fun about it was the community of people on Twitter and LinkedIn and wherever. In that, I mean, it gave me a chance to interact with other people that are doing education in a way that I usually don't have that opportunity. If I was learning about, like, I was studying cat boost. I've got a cat who just left the room, but I was studying cat boost, and I emailed the original authors and I said, "What about this? I'm confused about this," and they wrote me back. And it was a way for me to interact with people who create algorithms, but also, like, when I was learning about, what was I learning about? I was learning about entropy, and some guy wrote a fantastic article about entropy. So I gave him a shout out on Twitter, and I connected with people I never would have thought I would have connected to either. So there was both an opportunity for me to learn a lot of stuff in a very short period of time, and also a community aspect that I wasn't fully expecting, but loved. I love the fact that I felt like my community was growing, and it was I was suddenly, getting to know via Twitter or whatever the social media platform is, all these people that are doing awesome jobs, creating awesome websites to teach stuff. Um, and now when people want to learn about encoding, like for natural language processing, I've got a website for that. Like, I don't have a stat quest for that, and I might not have one for that for a while. But in the meantime, check out this guy's website because it's so cool. So I mean, that was a sort of an unexpected benefit of the 66 days for me.
Well, I love both of those. And the first thing that you said really hit home. It gave you an excuse to catch up. It gave you
Yeah,
an excuse to work daily on something. And a lot of the time we're talking about excuses, we're giving ourselves excuses not to do something.
yeah,
And I think it's really powerful that this initiative does give you it gives you an excuse to start learning data science, It gives you an excuse to catch up on the things or the methodologies that you need to grow and learn. It gives you an excuse to learn a new tool. It gives you an excuse to do all of these really great things. And I think we should strive to give ourselves more positive excuses like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me is like, it just what you said there kind of blew the cap off of my brain. I hadn't framed it that way before, and I think it's really
Yeah.
a really special thing to be able to frame things like that.
It's like a New Year's resolution, but we're all in it together.
Yes.
Instead of like, I'm going to go to the gym, but it's not just like, I'm going to go to the gym. It's, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do it for 66 days. And all my friends and people that are going to become my friends are all going to the gym, and we're going to look after each other. And actually, this reminds me, on LinkedIn, a bunch of people were posting their 66 days of data experiences at the same time I was. And one woman just sort of like dropped off for like 4 days, and I had to email her. I was like, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? I'm worried about you. In a way that, like if you're training for a marathon, you got to run really far. It helps to have other people kind of look and helping you out and trying to motivate you. And people did that for me because they were like, what are you going to do tomorrow? And I'm like, oh, it's a secret, but just wait, it's going to be exciting. And when I felt like people were falling behind, I was like, hey, are you still with us? And they're like, I'm just really busy, but I'm doing it, but I haven't posted. I'll be back this weekend. And so I don't know, I don't know, great experience.
Incredible stuff. So, one thing I would ask you is, what was your key to staying consistent? I see a lot of people, uh, a lot of people start
Yeah.
very not as many finish. I don't know the exact numbers. I probably should try and figure out what those are. I think we're around maybe 15% people of the people who start finish.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in if, we can think of some tips to be able to help people really continue and plug along. I mean, you did a great job at this. I think you were probably a little more structured than a lot of people were, and then, maybe that's the key to it.
Yeah, I'd gone ahead and I'd outlined kind of what I wanted to accomplish during the 66 days. And I made and it's a huge outline, way more than I could possibly do. But the nice thing about it was when when I didn't, it seemed like I was researching a topic. I dove into something called mixed models, which a lot of people ask me about. And I got on the surface of that and I found it very difficult to get deep. Uh, and so rather than worry about that and get bogged down in like, ugh, it became sort of like, uh, it was like, yeah, sure, I get the general idea, but to do any more than these real extreme basics was going to get really hard really fast. And so rather than get bogged down, I just moved on to the next thing on my list. So I had a real long list, and I also had. It's kind of funny. When I looked back, I just looked back at my list of things I wanted to do. I also had deliverables that I wanted to have for each thing. Um, and sort of like, and I also had an approximate like how much time I wanted to spend on each topic. So I had a lot of structure going into it, and I had a lot of motivation in that. The more topics I could cover, the more I felt like I was up to date on what was going on in data science. And so I had those. But the other thing for me was the posting every day. That was a huge, huge motivator for me. I felt like I didn't want to let people down. I wanted to have something for them. And and even if it was just a link to a website that I thought was awesome, that was enough to post. And one other point is like, not every day has to be amazing, right? Some days can be those days where all you do is you look at one website and you learn one little thing. And that's the whole idea. It doesn't have to be like, today I coded a neural network from scratch and I can now classify pictures of cats and dogs. That's a whole 66-day challenge right there. But when you break it down into little pieces of like, oh, I'm just gonna I'm gonna learn the very basics of like creating a training data set, and all I have to do is post hey, I learned about training data sets today, or here's a website that explains training data sets, or you know what I'm saying? Um, just keeping your expectations sort of in check and realizing you're not going to like conquer the world in one day or solve all of data science in one day. It's a slow, and it's a process that I look forward to doing again the next year. I don't have to get it all, like, sure, I made a dent in my list of things, but rather than being depressed that I didn't get the whole thing done, I just go, well, I'll just do this again in 6 months, and do another sort of sprint where I try to learn as much as I can. So those are what I did to stay kind of on target and stay focused during the 66 days. I will say it's not easy. It is like
Yeah,
running a
it's hard.
marathon,
It's hard.
I've run 2 marathons before in my life, and there's a stage around like mile 15 for me where it gets really hard because you've been running long enough that you're tired, but you're still too far from the end to get that adrenaline rush. And I had a very similar arc in terms of like I got about a month and a half into it. It's a little over two, well, maybe a month into it, or just over a month into it, or something like that. And I was like, and 66 days is every day. I mean, actually, all day. Is that Ken? Is that okay?
Well, you cut out for a second.
Okay.
What was that?
Do some people? So I think some people they'll take pauses, and I think that's fine, right? Is that okay to, like, I'm doing 66 days, but I'm going to pause for 5 days? Is that a legit 66
G
days technique?
No, generally, like, I recommend restarting if you
Yeah,
pause for if you miss a day, it's not the end of the world.
yeah,
My thing is if you didn't post for a day and you still worked the day,
yeah. It's good.
I think that's fine. Yeah, my thought is in terms of the giveaways and those types of things,
Yeah, every
I
single
probably
day.
shouldn't say, yeah, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but we've been giving forgiveness if you miss like a day or two. Like that's okay. Like
Well,
to get a Udemy credit,
yeah,
like you can still miss a day or two and be all right. But if we're talking about giving away a laptop or something like that, you kind
the
of have to
real
have
deal.
done
Yeah,
everything.
and so
Yeah.
that's the way I was doing it. So, we're talking Saturday, Sunday, every single day of the week, I was posting something, and a little bit over a month, I was like, "Dang, this." It was like a Sunday afternoon, and all I wanted to do is sit around. And I'm like, no, I have to at least find one website that's going to give me some knowledge on this topic, blah blah blah. And I was like, man, this is tough. And I had that kind of low point of like, am I going to be able to do this? And then I just thought about those people on Twitter and I was like, I can't disappoint them. Got to do it. And I got back in the saddle. And so just like in a marathon where you have this like time of doubt, the 66 days was what had this couple of days where I was like, I don't know if I can finish this. But once you get a little closer to the finish line, it becomes like real easy to motivate yourself to just keep going. But yeah,
Well, the thing of having goals or having things, a list to work off of, to me, that's the single thing that can help you avoid where you get stuck or you don't want to do something, right?
yeah,
If it's like, hey, I can just watch a video, like a 5-minute video on this topic, and I know that it's on my topic list, that's the mental battle. It's
yeah,
not The 5 minutes is not hard to do. It's knowing what to do in that 5 minutes. It takes 10 minutes to find a topic and then
yeah,
or an article to read or things like that. And I've also found the community is great for that. Going
yep,
in, looking at news articles people have posted, quite a few of my posts have been okay. I worked through a lot of the stuff. Starting any new big topic was going to be hard. What have people been posting about? What are they reading? Okay, I'll go in and I'll post this on my list. The other thing is you mentioned that large project as a an entire 66 days of data. Absolutely. I mean, if you have a project that you're working on every day for this process, I think that's one of the best possible uses of your time.
yeah,
So I think that just having a goal, having a target, having a couple things or a single thing you're going to work on is just such an incredible and compelling way to stick with it, with this challenge, and to really have a tremendous amount of success with this initiative. So, uh, Josh, do you have any last things to add before I bring in our second guest? This was so incredible. I'm so grateful to you again, and I'm excited for you to pursue the challenge again, as you
Yeah.
said, in around 6 months or so.
Yeah, well, yeah, just thank you again, Ken, for doing this. I'm really excited about it, and I cannot wait to do it again. I'm going to start again July 1st and do it. I think it's going to be a yearly thing for me, a yearly cycle for me. So I'll do it again starting July 1st. I'm already getting excited. My list of things is already off the screen, so I'm sure it'll be a fun time. And thanks again, and I'll see you later.
Absolutely. And you have a playlist for
Yes.
66 days of data,
Yeah.
correct? So if anyone's looking for 5-minute videos or for something to do, that's one of my favorite places to just
Yeah.
be able to spend at least 5 minutes there.
Yeah, I've got, and I'll make a new one for this. I'll do like a beginners playlist, and we'll do an intermediate to advanced playlist for the new 66 challenge. So,
I absolutely love it. Well, thank you so much again, Josh.
yeah,
And I got to send you off with a bam.
bam.
Incredible stuff. All right. I will talk to you soon. And thank you again for coming in.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, everyone. That was Josh Starmer. As I'm sure you know, I probably have said it a million times now how grateful I am for him to come in and how awesome having him be a part of this initiative was. Our next guest is is also a pretty incredible person. He is on round 4 of the 66 days of data. He's done every single round with me. He's also made quite a career of data science for himself. So Jack Reifer Baruch is a behavioral scientist turned data scientist. He's a believer in lifelong learning, an entrepreneur, and he's passionate about using data science to improve socio emotional development for individuals and organizations. Currently, he heads the data team at Ada Intelligence. Um, you know, I've had a couple of conversations with Jack. I've also looked at his LinkedIn, and he is a true proponent of continued learning. The man has done more online certificates than probably all of us in chat combined. Like it blows my mind how much he enjoys this learning process. And I think that there's a ton of things that we can take away from his experience and his kind of zest for learning that can help anyone in this initiative. And that's really why I wanted to bring him in. You know, he has such a good energy around him. He has um, such an excitement about learning that I just couldn't help myself. So, Jack, if you can hear me backstage, I'm about to bring you on.
Hey,
Perfect.
Ken.
How are you, Jack?
Everything good? Good morning. Very
Excellent.
early morning for you. Not so much for me.
It's not that early. It's 5:30. We're all you know I it's very little for me to wake up this early if it means a a lot of benefit to the community and things like that. So first, I want to thank you for being an active participant in the 66 days of data. For now, you're in your fourth round. You started the fourth round even before me. That to me is something pretty incredible. Um, and I know, again, we've talked offline about how passionate you are about learning, and I'd love to kind of hear a story around that, and then also how your interest in learning kind of intersects with the 66 days of data.
Wow. Well, first of all, really happy to be here. I'm very grateful for you to have invited me to talk about this. It's been 66 days of data for me has been an incredible experience in many ways, especially because it allowed me to find a community of like-minded individuals and to figure out this whole industry of data science is incredibly new. There's a lot of stuff happening very quickly. We'll get to that later. And having a community that's very supportive is incredibly important. The Actually, I found the 66 days of data through your channel on YouTube. I think somebody guided me to it. There's an actual um, there's a channel on Discord that's like a book club for programming, and I sort of joined them, but they were reading a book on JavaScript, and I was interested in Python. But then somebody mentioned you, and I went to a channel, figured it out, and started doing the 66 days challenge. Probably since online education became available like widely in like early 2010s, 2011, 2012. I think Coursera was in 2012, something like that. I started figuring out, hey, now there's this opportunity to learn anything you want, and it's right there. You don't have to figure out where to go to school, where to do this. And not only that, but you're learning from amazing people that really know what they're talking about. And that actually, when I decided to start learning data science the first time, because it happened twice, the first time I quit because life got too busy. And then the second time I actually was able to make it happen. Uh, Both times it was, I need to learn something new. The world is changing very quickly. Whatever it is that you're doing today might not actually be a job tomorrow. And you have to just move with whatever's happening and keep up to date. Plus, if you want to keep your brain young and healthy, you have to keep learning new stuff. Truth is that if you go to the university, whatever you learn there, it's going to be probably fairly obsolete in 5 to 10 years. Depending on what it is that you learn. And you just have to keep going. So this idea of lifelong learning is something that I think everybody should take very seriously. And I worked a lot with companies and organizations for a long time, just trying to help them build a different culture where they have to think, this is happening tomorrow. And if we don't do something today, we're going to be out of business in just a couple of years. And it's happened. It's happening every day. And I think with the pandemic, we saw it happen a lot faster than we expected.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think everyone they need to realize that this career path is about continually learning and growing and adapting. More so than learning any individual tool or methodology, it is about creating that meta learning skill. And hopefully this initiative helps you to at least get started on thinking about how to learn that and pick up new things. Something I do want to call out, I'm seeing in the comments, a couple people have landed new jobs. I won't say it's thanks to the 66 days of data, but hopefully the initiative played a role in this. I've heard, I think, over double digits of people who have talked about the new roles that they landed in the Discord server. And again, if this initiative played any role in that, I'm just like over the moon that it, the community or any of these things could be a part of something like that. I mean, that's a tremendous accomplishment, especially if you're coming from not a data science background, just like you were. And I'm again just so happy that people have come together and helped each other learn and helped each other stay accountable and helped each other even potentially land jobs here. And so, Jack, I also want to ask you just a little bit more about, I think I froze a little bit, but I want to ask you just a little bit more about your unique experience in participating in the challenge.
Wow. Well, every single round has been completely different. For the first round, I wasn't sure exactly how it worked. The whole idea of posting to Twitter, LinkedIn, or Discord every day was a big challenge at the beginning. I think, and you mentioned this with Josh. What do you do if you miss a day? What do you do if you're too tired? If it's too difficult? And is it okay to miss a day? So some of the days that I miss something, then I would post, days 32 to 37 and just bunch in whatever it is that I did those days, because it was sometimes difficult. Sometimes I actually completely forgot that I should be posting. And yet the idea that I had to post was a driver. It's for the community. It's for yourself. You're keeping yourself accountable to other people. In behavioral science, in behavioral economics in particular, there's this thing that we already know, that if you tell other people that you're trying to accomplish a goal, it becomes much more probable that you actually do it. So it is important to actually post. But if you miss a day, you have to allow yourself to say, okay, I missed a day. Because if you're so structured and so focused on I have to post every day, if you miss one, then you miss another. Then another thing pops in where you just let it go. Actually, so the first run was very hectic. The second run was a lot more focused because I said, okay, for this run, I'm going to do a project. I'm going to start writing articles to share what I'm learning with the community and help me to learn some more. And then the third round came along, and I just actually, the third round, something weird happened is that I started it. I got to about day 20, and then my life got incredibly busy. And then you announced that you were going to be starting like in a week and a half or 2 weeks. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to scrap this round. I'll start the third one with Ken and just keep going. And again, the third round was very focused on learning very specific things, especially some deep learning. And then I immediately got a chance to get into a boot camp, which is something that people have asked me before. Is a boot camp a good idea for learning? And I have no idea, never done a boot camp before in my life, especially not for coding or data science. So I got this opportunity. I got into the boot camp, and I said, this is going to be my third round. And instead of 66 days, it's going to last for 100 days. And we'll see what happens. And that's what I've been doing so far.
Incredible. And I think something that people can really take away from that is your 66 days of data doesn't have to be perfect, right? But we
Correct.
should all strive for the perfection over time, right? If it didn't go great this round, you can always do another round. Yes, it's 66 days. Yes, it's a long time. But, you don't have to just do it once and have it be immaculate, right? The idea is that you can get better in each iteration that you do of this. I mean, that's personally why I break them up a little bit, is I look at them as isolated learning. I still continue the learning habit. I don't necessarily continue the posting habit. But to me, that's a way I can essentially check in on myself and see my progress and say, hey, like, have the structures and systems that I put into place this round that I didn't have last round. Did they help me? Did they potentially hurt how I was learning? This is a great way to do like a status check for a little portion of the year, and take away some really incredible learnings and habits and whatever that might be. And so I really like that. You're it's not that you're okay with imperfection, but it is an inevitability that, like, hey, I missed a day. I missed 3 days last round. I'm going to try and miss no days this round. And, if I end up missing just a day or two, that's better than I was before. And that's improvement. That's progress. I am a huge believer in like falling forward and saying, and I do an audit after every round that I've done so far. What could I have done better? What could I improve upon? Essentially, the audit always says that I should structure things more and like what I'm going to learn, and potentially even make like a, hey, this is what I'm going to do for every single day. Maybe in round by round 6 or 7, I'll figure out how to do that and have some documentation for people to follow along. I'm not quite as organized as Josh is, but that is something I am personally striving to do. I just haven't quite got there yet.
Having an objective, I mean, saying, okay, for this round, this is what I want to accomplish. And hopefully it's something big. It's going to help you figure out how much you learned and how much you actually accomplished during those 66 days. So I would definitely say that set up an objective for each round. What is it that I want to accomplish? Is it just, at the very beginning, is it just learning how to code? Is it learning statistics, learning the math behind it? What is it that you want to accomplish? And then you can actually do a better audit at the end.
Jack, I think we're going to actually include that in the next round of the 66 days of data. So for everyone listening, if you're going to do round 4 with me, before your first day, I'd like you to post on your socials what you hope to accomplish in this round of doing 66 days of data. I know a lot of people have already done that. I see quite a few posts where people say, I'm excited to participate in this. This is what I'll be doing. I really like that. That's something that I think we should integrate, something I'm going to integrate into my next round of the 66 days of data starting on January 1st. So,
excellent.
Yeah. Jack, anything to add? Any place that people can reach you? Any last things you want to share before I bring in our guest from Z by HP?
Well, yeah, just for this, for 66 days of data, really focus on the community, ask for help. If you're stuck on something, if you just write to anyone in the community, write to me, feel free on LinkedIn or Twitter. I always answer, even if it takes me a couple of days. And I know Ken does too. And so just reach out to people. I mean, we're there to help. And one of the things that I figured, and I can't believe it, the other day somebody wrote to me saying that I inspired them on with 66 days, and I felt incredibly grateful and weird and happy and shy about it at the same time. And just because of it, Mario, if you're watching, this T-shirt is for you.
I love it. I love it. Well, you know, one last thing that I do want to say is that I am having you on my podcast in the next couple of months. So anyone that wants to learn more, anyone that wants to hear all of Jack's story, definitely keep your eyes open for that. I'm sure that will be a very thrilling one. As you can tell, Jack brings incredible energy and a lot of really great stuff to the data science sphere. So Jack, thank you again. And I will talk to you on the podcast very soon.
Thank you for having me, and see you soon.
Awesome. All right, everyone. I have one last guest. It is actually my friend over from Z by HP. You know, they're enabling the community. They're doing some pretty incredible stuff. I've worked with Andrew for almost over a full year now as a Kaggle ambassador for Z by HP. They're doing some really incredible stuff with the data community. They've been a part of a lot of giveaways. This particular giveaway, as well as my end of the year giveaway for my leaderboard project, which I'm a little bit behind on, but I'm in the process of revamping still with Forest Knight and Tina. So again, Andrew's going to come on. He's going to talk a little bit about how Z by HP is supporting the data community. We're going to give away a couple pretty incredible laptops here, the exact same laptop that I use. So, Andrew, you ready to come on? I didn't get a yes, but
I'm good. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Great.
Awesome.
Andrew, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Ken. Super excited to be here with the community. You know, I'm more of a quiet observer. I have not done 66 days of data science, but I love and just listening to your guests, the comments and the growth, and seeing a few individuals that have done it multiple times. Just the consistent posting, the confidence, what they're sharing and they're learning is really inspiring from someone from a product side in building solutions to really amplify the work and the learning and the growth that so many in the community are doing.
Yeah, and you know, I think that I just want to make sure that I thank you and the team. And you guys have been so supportive of this community. I've been sharing a lot of the information, all of these things, and giving me a platform a lot of the time to talk about the community and how it's, you know, again, hopefully helping people to break into this field. I am again just so grateful for the opportunity to work with you all. I'm so grateful on behalf of the community for all the things that you know, all the opportunities you've created, also for hardware and all of these different things. To me, it again blows my mind that something like this giveaway is possible for an initiative that's really only been around for just over a year. But the amount of traction, the amount of people engaging with this daily, to me, that speaks a tremendous amount about how excited this community is and how deserving they are of all of the resources that we're giving away. And I'm excited to see these laptops be put to really good use. If you wouldn't mind, I'd love for you to talk just a little bit more about the laptops themselves. Talk about, you know, perhaps the ideal use cases, whatever it might be. And because I'm not that much of a hardware guy, obviously I know the stuff that I'm using is pretty incredible, but I'd love to hear from your mouth just a little bit about what our guests will be getting.
Yeah, definitely. So Z by HP is the brand of high performance compute within HP. So many folks might recognize it as workstations. So for us as a business, we're focused not only on the hardware development, but also the software and the solution that sits on that hardware as well. So that laptop, Ken, that you have and that others will win is the ZBook Studio. And the ZBook Studio is actually it's lighter than a MacBook Pro. I had to think for a moment. So light, easy on the go. Super excited to be able to give that to two lucky winners that have been active and participating in 66 Days of Data Science. In addition to that, it'll have our data science software stack preloaded onto the ZBook Studio. And that consists of multiple programming languages. All your drivers are optimized and up to date, as well as command line access to your preferred cloud provider, either GCP, Azure, AWS. And that's something that we provide out of the box so that you can immediately get to your work. Updates are provided by HP. And very excited as we move into next year, some further updates to that. As well as some other fun releases that will come and further amplify the experience. So you're focused more on your workflow rather than version management control, trying to scour the internet to figure out when should I update, is it a good time, and really HP wants to come and assist in that. And I think again, Ken, I think probably a pre-COVID world with a mobile as well as you have a Z4 desktop workstation. Really our whole ideal and focus would be that you have your mobile, you have your desktop, really in a hybrid work environment. I think as we come out of COVID, hopefully sooner than later, the ability to work from anywhere and to be able to access compute is something that we're very mindful in our innovation and the capabilities between if you just have a mobile or if you have both a mobile and a desktop.
I love that. And something that I've been encouraged to do since working with Z is to use Linux a lot more. My Z4 workstation runs Linux, and my laptop the ZBook Studio runs Windows. I know I'm a crazy person for doing it that way, but that means I can remote into my my workstation and use Linux there, and I can use Windows for video editing and all the other stuff that I do on the laptop. And honestly, I've really enjoyed it. I mean, we'd use Linux box for grad school, and a lot of my work was done there, and I forgot how easy it was. And it's in my mind just a little bit easier to use for data science when you can do everything from the command line. And there's been some pretty cool stuff with WSL2, which I've recently downloaded and experimented with. But the versatility that you guys have integrated with across operating systems has been something that I think is really powerful. I don't know of many of the other companies out there that are doing that, and to me, that's something that it shows a clear understanding of the data science community. It shows that you're willing to listen. I know that you interviewed quite a few data scientists to learn the workflows and make sure that the technologies and the tools that they're getting are matching what is actually happening in the real world. So I'm really excited, and I know that you guys have, as small as I've been, you've still been willing to listen to me and have those conversations. And if I'm like, oh, I cut myself on the corners of the laptop, like I don't, you need to adjust this, you'll at least hear me out. So I think that's a really incredible thing, and that's something that makes me really happy to see in a company or an organization.
I think I open this up to your audience as well. Find me on LinkedIn if there's ideas that you have to improve your overall solution, or if there's something that's bugging you, even if it's not a Z by HP product, if it's something else. Part of the conversation and the commitment to the community and being involved with you, Ken, and 66 Days of Data Science as a supporter company is to hear feedback on how can we make your work process easier, more seamless, and to alleviate pain points. And it's great to flash a logo and showcase who we are as a brand, but more importantly for me, it's to really alleviate any pain points, because at the end of the day, that's the most fulfilling part of my job, is to learn about what's driving you, what's just driving that passion in any project, either professional or personal, but making sure that your solution is not a hindrance to that, and really making those ideas a reality.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that I encourage anyone, if you're having trouble with your laptop, if there's something that you think would make a hardware solution better, that's a good thing to know. I mean, this is the iteration, and this is something I try to do even with my content, is like, hey, what can I do to improve how I communicate information? What topics should I be covering to create the most value? There's some topics that I just think are boring and I probably won't cover, but a lot of the time there's an intersection of things that I want to create and things that people want to hear. And I think that works the same in any industry, right? I mean, there's things that you're going to build, and there's things that the feedback that you'll be willing to listen to, and there's also things that you'll probably never build, and you'll still hear the feedback, but it's not going to really do that much good.
Yeah. Hey, Ken, I have 2 winners that were randomly selected. You want me to announce them? You want me to, do you have a little audio keyboard? You can do a little drum roll, or?
I do. I actually, let me make sure that they're the ones that I have queued up on the banner. Can you
They
take a
are.
look at
Yep.
the private chat? Okay, perfect. So, yeah, let's, oh, I accidentally, there we go. Yeah, let's do it. Why don't, I don't have a drum roll, but I would love for you to share who the winners are.
Okay. You let me know when you flash the banner on the screen. I'm doing a drum roll too.
All right,
But
what, you can announce it first and then I'll put the
okay.
banner on the screen.
So super pleased on behalf of Z by HP to award 1 ZBook Studio each. First to Christina Raznick, and then Emmanuel Cortez. These are the 2 winners that have been recognized as just consistent participants, active in 66 days of data science. And again, just a big congratulations. If you want to reach out to Ken or reach out to me directly via LinkedIn, send me your address. We'll get these to you, hopefully even by the end of the week, so you can get going on further projects, either it be 66 days of data science or elsewhere. But Ken, I will say that these aren't the last prizes that will show up. Either it be in 66 days of data science or another initiative that you're doing. And again, super happy to collaborate with you and be here this morning and support the community.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much for coming in. And for everyone who did not win the actual ZBook Studios, there's still plenty of giveaways. Everyone who finishes the 66 days of data initiative or has even gotten through 21 days can get access to a $3 Udemy credit, courtesy of them. So definitely, if you have not applied for that, that is in the announcements of the Discord server. You can apply for that and I'll send that over. I think there are some like country codes that apply, so I apologize if it does not reach your region, but for the vast majority of people, that is available to everyone. It looks like my computer has, not the computer, the internet is frozen a little bit here. So give me just a second on that. Okay, now it's all caught up. But Andrew, thank you so much again for coming in. Thank you again for sharing the laptops with the community. And I'm really excited for what's to come. I know that this community is unbelievably grateful, and they're excited for the next big thing, the next 66 days, and just a bright future for their own learning.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Have a good day, everyone.
You too. Bye, Andrew. All right, everyone. that is it. I see a lot of familiar faces. I think I see Al Bellamy, who I'm having on the podcast in a couple of weeks here. I see Forrest Knight. Thank you so much for stopping in. There are so many people I'm sure that I have completely missed, but I will try and go back through the comments. And if there's anything additional you want to add, definitely let me know in the comment section of this live stream. Special thanks to Josh Starmer and Jack Reifer Baruch. Incredible guests. I learn so much every time I talk with them. And honestly, every time I have a conversation with them, I leave feeling like giddy. You know, it's one of these things where you just sometimes get really good energy from people. And I'm so happy that they could share a little of their experience with you here. I know I'm going to keep sounding redundant, but I am so grateful for this community. I'm so grateful and so excited to see how many people are learning every day. And it continually inspires me every time I see someone post, every time I people engage with my own posts. It's a really incredible feeling, and I'm so happy that I could be a part of something like this and help it to continue to grow. So as you can expect, we're going to have quite a few more rounds coming up starting in January. I'm working on getting more companies involved to help give away more free stuff. That to me is something, if I can help enable learning in any way, I'm gonna try and do that to the best of my ability. And that's something that uh, I'm just really, again, happy to share with you all. So I'll stop gushing over here before I start crying or something. Um, thank you all so much for tuning in, especially everyone who's been through the challenges, who stayed on the live stream for this whole time. I'm again just super happy that we could do this, and until the next round, I will see you all then.